What is up, guys? I am here with another, yet again, Final Fantasy news video. There is so much going on at the moment in the Final Fantasy world. It's great, actually. I absolutely love it. As you guys know, Final Fantasy is one of my all-time favorite franchises in the entire world. And Pax East is now done, and we have a little bit of new information about Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Age, and I want to go through it with you guys, and I kind of want to get on the hype train a little bit. When they announced Final Fantasy XII last year, I was like, oh my god, yes! Because Final Fantasy XII is like my second favorite one after number 8. And they did such a good job releasing Final Fantasy X, which was their main reasons for steering towards Final Fantasy XII. Now, if they would just, you know, remake 8, I'd be, yeah, just remake 8. I feel like we have so much to talk about, so I'm gonna try and get through stuff without boring you guys to tears. The first thing, obviously, that we know about Final Fantasy XII is the character improvements, the model improvements. Like, if you were to put them side by side, the improvement in the HD version of Final Fantasy XII is crazy. You never actually quite realize how bad a game looked on the PlayStation 2 until you bring it up into the HD world. Although, saying that, with Final Fantasy X, I feel like they went the other way and they made the models look quite plastic. Like, everyone looked like they had had plastic surgery or something like that. Final Fantasy XII, in my opinion, gets it right. I thought it was quite funny, though, at the Pax East interview where the guy actually starts talking about Fran's butt. It seems like they put a lot of emphasis on making sure that her butt was perfect, along with the weapons and the landscape and things like that. So yeah, I'm really excited by how it looks, because I never really liked the way the map looked. I never liked the fact that your characters' names and their ATBs was all like stretched across the screen. I never quite liked that. So I feel like it's nice that it's kind of like neatly in the corner now. Similar to Final Fantasy X, when that was redone for the PS4, they've actually done this soundtrack. Now, they showcased a little bit of the new soundtrack at the PAX East interview, but it was a little bit kind of bad quality. But what they did say was that they redid all the songs with an orchestra, and similar to Final Fantasy X, you can swap back between the two. Now, I know personally I wasn't too keen on the remastered music from Final Fantasy XII, so I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that the remastered music for Final Fantasy XII is going to be fine. But if not, it's nice to know that we have the option to swap between the two. But also what they said was there was some new tracks that are going to be on the soundtrack as well, so I'm really excited to hear what they're going to be like. So what has got everybody talking about Final Fantasy XII? Well, there is a new job system. Now, the job system isn't new to Final Fantasy, but it is new to Final Fantasy XII. Now, personally, I've never played a Final Fantasy where I've had to worry about a job system. I have only just recently gotten into Final Fantasy XIV, which I guess is similar because every character has a role to play. But with this one, in Final Fantasy XII, there's like a whole new menu where basically you get to choose what your characters are doing. Now, they didn't go into too much detail about this. For example, if I was to have Bosch as a black mage, and then suddenly I wanted to change him over to being like an archer or a white mage, I'm assuming that he would go back down to 0 to learn the new traits. And I'm assuming that obviously the levels are not going to carry over to absolutely everything that you want them to be doing. As I say, I'm not too familiar with the job system. I was kind of hoping that you guys actually could maybe educate me a little bit in the comment section, because I'm very interested to know how this is gonna like impact the new game, because this is very important. Like, they are really basing the battle system around this job system now. But I think it would be kind of cool to have Bosch as my black mage. I don't know. I guess I would usually have Ash as the black mage, Penelo would be the white mage, but yeah, it could be interesting to mix it up just a little bit. They still have, obviously, the licensing board is still with that, but I think that they've actually amended that to fit a little bit nicer with the job system. So that in itself is going to be interesting. I put a lot of hours into the original Final Fantasy XII. and I maxed out everybody's license board. I got all the espers and everything like that, and I even spent like an entire day trying to beat Yasmat as well. So interestingly enough, talking about Yasmat, there is a new trials thing that they are announcing with this game where it's similar to Gears of War. So obviously with Gears of War, they had like a horde mode where you had like 50 waves of hell, as I like to call it. Trial mode has 100 levels, and basically you take your character from your game through these trials. So depending on what level you are in the game, that's the character you're going to be taking into the trials. So if you want to last 100 levels, I would assume that you'd probably need to be level 99 or above. But they did announce that Yasmat will be part of that, but there's going to be an even stronger enemy, because if you didn't know, Yasmat was like the strongest one to fight. It took me like an entire day. I remember having to run back and forth to the save, have my dinner, then come back and try and beat him again. So I'm so excited to find out like who is this stronger enemy gonna be. Like I don't even know if I have any thoughts or theories. Like, is it just gonna be one of the judges? Are they gonna have like ultimate weapon or something like that? Like, who's it gonna be? I want to know your thoughts. Who's it gonna be? Do you think it's gonna be a weapon or a giant Marlboro? Or, well, actually, if it was a giant Marlboro, that'd be kind of lame because I wouldn't want it to be that. But I have no idea, absolutely no idea. All I know is that I'm very excited to try the 100 levels trial. I don't know how many of you guys have played World of Final Fantasy. It's something that I'm still working through on my channel at the moment. I had no idea that World of Final Fantasy was as big a game as it is. I think I've put in 35 hours or something into that game, and I'm still going, and it came out around about the same time as Final Fantasy 15, which in my opinion was a mistake. But the reason I'm bringing up this game is because there's a really awesome feature in the world of Final Fantasy, which is you can actually speed up your battles. And it was something that I really wanted to see in other Final Fantasies, especially 10. Like Final Fantasy 10, you can't even skip the cutscenes. The battles are extremely slow, unless you're like me and you're just like spam attack, spam attack, spam attack, and then you can get through them. But new feature in Final Fantasy 12 is that you can run at 2 times speed or even 4 times speed. Now, they showed us what it looked like with 2 times speed, but they didn't show us the 4 times speed. I have to wonder if that's because maybe the game would crash. It's maybe not ready to show us the 4 times speed just yet. But 2 times speed is going to be amazing. If you guys don't know, the Final Fantasy 12 map is huge. But there is so much to explore. Like, you want to explore absolutely every corner of that map. And also, if you're going to go around and do the hunts, which is something that I spent a lot of my time on, you're really going to want to have the ×2 or the ×4 speed just to basically go back and forth and explore every inch of the map. And yeah, that is totally awesome. And also, you can highlight the map up a little bit. I'm trying to think what... I think it was Final Fantasy 9 that did that, where you could have like a transparent map while you're still moving around so that you can see where you're going while looking at the map. Whereas other games like Final Fantasy 8, for example, I could be mixing them up, but I'm sure it's Final Fantasy 8 that if you bring up the map, you have to just look at the map. Whereas in Final Fantasy 9, you have like a transparent map and you can still move freely, but you can see where you're going. So Final Fantasy 12 has that now as well, so you can find exactly where you need to be. Other things to consider: buying the game, if you want like the limited edition one, is gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you like £200 or something ridiculous like that. You get some pretty cool figurines that come with it. You get some art books, soundtracks, the usual goodies that you would expect with a collector's edition. Will I buy it? Probably, because I love this game. And the thing I'm loving about my job at the moment is that I grew up with all these games and now they're being remastered, and it's like, yes, I actually get to play them again. So good. Things like Crash Bandicoot is coming round about the same time as well. So it's like Final Fantasy 12, Crash Bandicoot. I'm like the luckiest person in the world right now to be able to play my childhood games, but to be able to share my excitement with you guys. And yeah, it's just awesome. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm so excited for Final Fantasy 12. I'm trying my hardest at the moment. I know I have a lot of series on my channel, and I know there's been a lot of people complaining, like, come on, like, you've given up on this one, or maybe you've given up on this one, and it's something that I am well aware of, and it's something that I'm trying to fix, so I'm trying to go through, like, my backlog and stuff like that. But when things like Crash Bandicoot and Final Fantasy 12 do come out, I will be focusing a lot of my time on especially 12. That is a huge game. So I don't think there's much else coming out that I'm really that hyped for around about that time. So all I'm going to warn you guys now is that this is the place for Final Fantasy 12, and there's going to be a lot going on with this channel, with the hunts, with the trials. You know, I want to try and beat these trials. I might even go for platinum, who knows. So yeah, I'm excited. So I hope this video gives you guys a little bit of an insight in what to expect with Final Fantasy 12 and reasons to be hyped for it. But thank you so much for watching this video, guys, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!